Hello, this is Chris Minnis, President of the Moss Creek Village Master Association. The following is a summary of information provided at our recent info sessions regarding the amendment to annex property into Moss Creek. The info session's purpose is to share how we reached this point, help owners become familiar with the key components of our irrigation system, illustrate the property in question with this amendment, and share alternatives we have pursued to solve our problem without the amendment, and some of the potential outcomes from the vote passing or failing. The source of our dispute is this clause within the Moss Creek Declaration. The Declaration sets for the rules and regulations that govern the land that is identified within the document. It is the opinion of the association that the developer failed to convey the irrigation infrastructure in Phase 1, which is located to the east and north of the clubhouse. This failure has resulted in the association to seek a resolution to ensure permanent access to the pond, the pump, and wells that feed water to your home. The vote is required to amend our declaration to add 4.81 acres into the community. This vote is a part of our settlement agreement with the developer, and if the vote does not pass, the agreement is nullified. An amendment to our declaration requires 67% of owners of record to vote in favor. It is the opinion of your board of directors that this offers us the best path forward to secure our irrigation infrastructure for the long term and to bring an end to the costly litigation process, allowing us to focus association resources on other projects. This Moss Creek map illustrates the key components of our irrigation system. The system has two phases, with each containing a retention pond, pump, and wells to feed the system. Phase 1 has 5 wells indicated by orange circles, a pump station indicated by a green square, and the retention pond, which is the blue oval. Phase 2 has 2 wells, 1 pump, and 1 retention pond. The two phases work together to provide water to each lot within the community, as well as to water the common areas. This aerial photograph illustrates the property at the center of our lawsuit. The parcel marked COS is Moss Creek open space owned and within the bounds of Moss Creek. The pond parcel is owned by the developer and is not within the confines of the Moss Creek neighborhood. The two parcels of land that have wells 1 through 4 are within the confines of Moss Creek per our declaration, yet are owned by the developer. Finally, the proposed annexed parcel is not within the confines of Moss Creek neighborhood and is owned by the developer. This parcel contains well number 6, which is the highest producing well in Phase 1. By approving the annexation of the proposed parcel, Moss Creek will have a legal claim to the pond and its usage in perpetuity. Well number 6 would become part of Moss Creek common property, and we would receive clear conveyance of our irrigation infrastructure. It is important to note that we are not buying the proposed parcel, and regardless of the outcome of this vote, the two parcels containing wells 1 through 4 will eventually be developed. The conveyance of irrigation infrastructure was to happen no later than December 31st, 2013. Looking at that date, you might wonder what took so long. When the conveyance failed to happen, we engaged directly with the developer to address the matter, yet we were unable to reach a resolution. We chose to pursue mediation as a means to reach another resolution. Again, we were unable to do so. A lawsuit was determined to be the only path to lay out our claim and prevent any activity on the affected parcels. Our trial was to start in November of 2017, and it was the looming trial date which we believe ultimately brought the developer to the table to negotiate a settlement. In addition to attempting to resolve the matter with the developer, we explored alternatives. We had 4 main options, and all were expensive solutions. First, the developer offered to install a city water meter for us to fill the pond with. We conservatively estimated this would cost the association $187,000 annually. To give you some perspective, we do not pay for water today, but we do spend approximately $100,000 annually for repairs and our service contract. Second, we looked at migrating all lots to city water. Installation of meters was anticipated to cost approximately $2 million and was immediately rejected. Third, we investigated installing a replacement pond north of Autumn Fire and Shadow Creek along Village Commons. The pond could not be built to sufficient scale to support our needs, and the starting figure was $300,000, and that is before installing pipes, pumps, and other needed equipment. Finally, we looked at expanding the capacity of Phase 2, which was expected to start at $400,000. The pond in Phase 2 is smaller than Phase 1 and only has 2 wells, which would make servicing the entire community difficult. As shared, the Board of Directors believes this settlement is the best path forward to lock in a defined outcome and avoid future litigation costs. If the amendment passes, the additional property is annexed into Moss Creek. We receive a legally binding and perpetual right to use the Phase 1 pond, which we do not own. We receive legal protection for the water we pump into the pond and requirements should the developer choose to use the pond in the future. We receive clear title to our irrigation infrastructure, and any development within the affected parcels is subject to board approval, and any damage caused by development to our infrastructure must be repaired by the developer. We also received $35,000 in cash compensation to resolve an additional claim related to stormwater drainage systems. Finally, we will be able to end attorney's fees necessary to help resolve the claim. The developer would then have the ability to develop the property most likely into a townhome community that would be part of Moss Creek, resulting in additional revenues to the association. Should the amendment fail, we would anticipate trial to begin in April with legal costs expected to range from $60,000 to $80,000. If we were to win, we may get a cash settlement which we may not be able to collect. Or we might win ownership outright of the 2 irrigation parcels but lose access to the pond. In the short run, this would require us to reduce watering schedules to all homes and common areas. If we were to lose outright, we would get nothing and lose access to the pond. To appeal such a result may cost as much as $50,000 in additional legal costs. In summary, the board and our attorneys believe this is the best path to get a positive resolution for the community. The board has called a special meeting for February 12th at 7 p.m. Your ballot must be returned in advance of the meeting or at the meeting. Late ballots cannot be accepted, and if the amendment fails, then we have to start all of this all over again. To vote, you must be the owner of record. Ballots can be dropped off at the clubhouse during business hours to Leah Madden or during non-business hours via the drop box next to the front door. You can also submit an electronic vote by visiting our website www.mosscreekvillagenc.com and clicking on the Amendment Vote section. If you are unable to attend the special meeting, please return the ballot prior to February 12th. Please do not delay in securing the future of our irrigation system and our community. Thank you for reviewing this information from our information sessions, and I hope that you will please vote yes. Thank you for your time.